Hello, guys, and welcome back to Skyrim 10 AD, the third episode of Session 6, where our friends have just had a quick, brief, short rest for about an hour and a half after taking out some bandits who seem to be having a very heavily skooma carrying group of bandits. Every one of them so far has seemed to. I will say it. We'll retrace that back. That every one of them seems to have carried some skooma on them. I'll just like to point out that Botty, when you managed to get the silver off of the guy on the roof, you also found 2 full bottles of skooma on him. So you have those in your inventory at the moment. And then we can get back to that, what you want to do with those from now on. So we're in Helgen Keep, and after a few terse words with each other from between Hamming and Botty over her chosen songs, Hamming you seemed to storm off, but he seemed to find somebody of a similar thinking in Mouse as he walks away from the conversation in the room. So, what would you like to do?
Well, I guess we were sort of heading towards the gated, or the gate on the other side of the central tower of the keep there, where we came in. Right?
Yep.
All right. So, well, since Hamming and Mouse seem to be ahead of everybody, I think we should probably just both head towards that gate and quietly open it. See what's around the corner.
So, everybody, would you like to just roll stealth checks again for me, please?
Uh-oh.
Luke, 17 with disadvantage.
Go, Luke. I got 20. Not a nat 20, 15 plus 5.
Let's see.
There's 24 for Jaquai.
I have a 3. Let's see. I don't know what I'm trying to look that up.
It's you have +3, so that would be
+3.
6.
Okay, so that's 6.
You're not proficient. So again, another 6 for Hamming. Hamming doesn't seem in the mood of sneaking. He's just walking straight towards that gate and just sort of like flings it open and starts to walk down.
Mouse grabs the gate before it slams against the wall.
Taking your initiative, he kind of like, all right, so he sort of like, leans he stops short, sort of like waiting for you to catch up.
All right, so what do we see?
So it's a long stairwell, curling around and down, and you're probably not surprised that if there is anybody else in here, that they haven't heard you and haven't come looking, because it's a pretty long stairwell down. Once you get down to the bottom, you look down, and then there's another hallway. Roll a... could I have a marching order first, please?
I'll go first.
Okay, so you've caught up to us, to myself and Hamming. Okay.
Quietly, you didn't hear me.
Yeah, obviously. So I guess I'll as usual, I will back up Jaquai.
And so following Jaquai, I'll assume would be Hamming, and after that,
I'll be in the rear.
Okay, and then so just before that would be Botty. Sure. So you come down, you finally get down to the bottom of this curling staircase, and then you peer right to the right. And as you peer in, you look off to the right, and you see there's a long corridor, but cut short as loads of fallen rocks and debris is completely closed off one end of it. And just to the front of you, across the hallway, is another door. Roll a perception check, please, Jaquai.
16.
16. You creep a little bit closer to the door, and you hear a female voice saying, "This one didn't even break a single lockpick or lose a single portion of skooma. The Nords are all so stupid." And then you hear a male voice saying, "All humans are stupid when you think about it. I mean, they're humans. It's only reasonable."
Can I peer through the keyhole?
You can. All you see is a fire on the opposite side of the door. Some pheasants hanging from a little thing over the top of the fire, but you can't see any people. You hear the sounds of sloshing and then cups being put on table.
Can we try it?
I'll open the door.
The door as itself. Okay. And as you look in, you see a table. There's a column, and you see one person on the right-hand side of the table, sitting down in front of it, and he's kind of like got like a quarter of his back to you, so you can see like his left ear and the back of his head, and just the sort of like side corner of his face. And it's an orc man. He's sitting there, and he's got a sword down at his left, sheathed in a sheath, and he's sitting there. He's got a drink in front of that, and he's pulling back. This big green burly orc, and he's got a top knot. And then to the left, there's a column, like a pillar right in front of it, sort of obscures somebody that he seems to be looking at and talking to. And none of them seems to be aware of your presence.
We can't see any part of the person that's behind the pillar?
No.
Okay. Jaquai?
So
we're trying to communicate silently here.
Yeah, so
Okay.
And then I'll move to my side of the pillar, so I'm obscured from both of their view.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then pick up a pebble from the floor and throw it to the far wall.
Nice.
Okay. Roll. Let's see. It's probably dexterity check. See, throwing your rock of where it goes. Make sure it's going to land where you want it to land. So roll an attack. Roll an attack. So roll d20, and you're not proficient with it, so it's roll d20 and add your dexterity to it.
Okay, so that's a 13.
13? Yeah, reasonable enough. You manage to get it back. You see some barrels over there in the corner, just as that, and you just lean your hand around like that. And you see the orc look over and goes, "Man, fucking rats." She goes, and then you hear the female voice goes, "This place is so disgusting, and that wasn't a rat. I'd smell it if it was a rat."
So this pillar and relative to the door that we're standing in, that Hamming and I are now standing in, is the pillar and the orc relatively centered or off to the right or left? I don't remember from your description. I apologize.
Yeah, you look into as you look through the door, you see a fire right opposite you.
Right
to
opposite.
Your right, yeah. To your right, you see the pillar. You see the column going up. Goes from the floor all the way to the ceiling, and then just around that, you can see 3/4 of a table, and the orc is sitting at that table with a tankard in his hand, and then the other person seems to be opposite. You see the tankard, and you see a fuzzy hand. It's got some fur in it, and they're drinking from the opposite one.
Okay. All right. So I'm. So where are we now in order here?
Nobody's noticed you yet. You're not in combat yet.
So I'm going to sort of look over at Hamming, and I'm going to step to one side of the door and quietly pull out my bow and kind of nod towards the two bandit type individuals in there, and sort of indicate perhaps if he should get on the other side of the door if he has a good shot from there, so that we both have our bows out.
You do as you say that, Hamming sort of like comes in for the side, and because of he's really pissed off, he just comes in, and the back of his quiver just scrapes along the line. You go see as Nord iron starts scraping up against the wall, and then you see the Nord you see the orc just turn and go, "Fucking bastards!" And he pulls out his Nord. Everybody, roll initiative, please.
All right.
Nice.
So, that's really bad.
I got a 5.
16.
Okay, so give me 1 second. Does anybody get 20 to 25? Okay, so was it 15 to 20?
Yeah. Body 16.
So it's body again. On top. And anybody get 10 to 15?
10 here.
10.
Oh, so Hamming, both of you have the same dish, so you both are going at exactly the same time. So that is Hamming
Oh, that'll be fun.
and Mouse. And we will have, who was next? Luke, what did you get?
7.
7, and you got a 5. Did you?
Yeah.
A 5 total, yeah?
Oh, what do I add to it?
Dexterity.
Oh,
You got
okay.
8, so yeah, so it's Jaquai. Oh no, it's 9, isn't it, for you, Jaquai?
Yeah, it's 9.
Yeah, so Jaquai and then Luke. What was that? That was 11, so it's there. So, Botty, you have just heard Hamming as he sort of like plows through the room, still giving you a dirty look as he sort of like, you know, turns the corner to enter the room. He gives you this dirty look, and instantly his quiver just scrapes up along the wall, and then you hear from inside the room a voice you've never heard before, kind of growly going. He goes, "Fucking bastards! What would you like to do?" You were kind of on the stairs, probably about sort of like 20 foot from the doorway. No, 10 foot from the doorway, let's say. You're pretty all close together. About 10 foot from the door.
Bati would like to, while ascending the stairs, draw the bow and have it ready to go, hitting the doorway, seeing the orc, noticing.
You haven't seen the orc yet. You can't see that through. He's to the right, so
To the right. Come into the room as quietly as possible, and positioning.
so you're gonna step into the room. It would probably be a bit difficult. Well, no, it could just be treated as difficult terrain. So that would just put your movement speed scenes to 10. So if you want to, you can get into the room. You'll only have a total of 20 movement because you'll have to push past Hamming and Mouse, who are just standing right in front of the door at the moment.
Well, we had sort of positioned ourselves to either side of the door, but yeah. So.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll just hang back with you guys then. That's fine.
Okay, so you're going to hold your action and wait for somebody to pass in front so you can see them with your bow, and then you're going to fire your bow when you see somebody who's going to be standing in front of it.
Yes.
Okay, and next up is Hamming and Mouse. Both of you, both at the same time, see the orc look at you, see you come in, and he's now pulling his sword, and he's standing up, and looking, he's getting ready to go. He puts his right hand into a pouch on the side of his belt.
Well, I'm going to draw my bow, or I have my bow out already, so I'm going to knock an arrow.
So
I don't know
roll
about
for
Hamming.
attack.
Good lord. Yeah. Let's see. 7.
7. No. So like the edge of the doorway just seems to get in your way as your back of your hand just scrapes the back of an old rusty nail and just damn it, and just manages to just puts you off, and the arrow goes wide. And Hamming, would you like to roll for an attack, please?
Yes. Let's see. Go. 19. Phew.
Nice.
I sweated that one.
Yeah, that one definitely hits. So for damage, it's roll a d8 plus 3.
3 plus 3, so 6.
6 damage, okay. So, and you don't really have like a bonus action of much of what you can do. So, so that's 6 damage to him. And up now we have the bandits, and you see the orc. He looks at the arrow going wide, and he goes, ah! And then the other arrow hits his shoulder from the longbow of the ranger. You fucking piece of shit! And then he pulls out a little glass vial of skooma and takes a real good big dose. And he's going to roll. Now, he starts to head towards both of you at the door. And let me see. You rolled 10 with advantage. Well, what did you roll for stealth, Jaquai? Like a 24, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he doesn't see you. You're still hidden behind the pillar. So he sees you, and the one closest to him is you, Mouse. And after taking his dose from the skooma, he seems enraged, and he's about to do some serious damage. So he rolls advantage 7 and another 7. And plus 3, that's 10. Your armor class is like 14.
14.
So enraged, he's woof, these reckless attacks start swinging wide and stuff like, but he starts swinging a little bit too early. He's still all sort of like moved from the skooma. And then from around the opposite side of the table, you see a female Khajiit come around. She goes, shh! And she pulls out her bow. And that's a 14. She sees you by the door, Mouse. So that's a 14, so that hits. So she's going to roll damage. And that's the wrong dice. That's 2 plus 3, so that's 5 points of damage you take, Mouse.
Okie doke.
And then, as a bonus action, she's also going to pull out her a pouch, a bottle of skooma. She's going to take a big dose of her skooma as well. Okay, so next up is Jaquai. Jaquai, it seems that neither of them have noticed you yet. As you're standing behind the pillar, you see the orc is now moved off to the right, heading towards the door, and the female Khajiit has gotten up from the table and has stepped back further to the left against the back wall and has a bow drawn.
Okay, so I will move to the female Khajiit.
Okay. Yeah, you're in the back, like 15 foot of her, so you're quite close.
Yeah. And make my attack.
Okay, so roll a d20.
Right, so it's 18.
Oh yeah, that definitely hits.
Okay. And then the claws attack. 9.
9 points of damage to her. She hisses you. It looks like she goes, "This one will shred your hide."
All right, so then I'll do my offhand attack.
Okay, we'll roll another d20.
All right, that one was 16.
That hits. Roll for damage.
And this one is 6.
6. Yeah, with that, you hit her so hard that most of it is actually palmed. You don't actually get much claws. And as you hit her so hard, you just hear a snap as the neck just goes, and she just twists around and falls onto the floor. And anything else you would like to do?
No, I mean, I'll just crouch back down.
And now it's Luke's turn.
So, how far back am I from the action?
You are probably about 10 foot from the door. You can't exactly see any of the enemies yet, but you can move 10 foot forward towards the door. And as you get there, you look to your right and you see the orc is probably about another 15 foot from you.
Oh, let's go for a ranged spell attack here. We'll point my holy symbol at raise my holy symbol, point a finger at him, and invoke kind, and see what I can do to him. Ooh, let's see. That's not so good. Let's see. That is a 14 total.
14. That hits. And a good shot
nice.
armor.
All right, there we go. And actually, let me see. I have a trick I haven't played before. Let me see. No, it's only lightning. Radiant is not lightning, so I have to roll. All right, so he will take. So I hurl a guiding bolt at him, and he takes. Ooh, only 6 points of damage. That was terrible. Jesus. That was 6 points of damage.
6, 12. That's enough.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because he took 6 from hamming. And 12. Let me just check. Yeah. So you H points 11. You hit the Nord straight with this guiding bolt. Smashes straight into his chest, and you knock him flying backwards, lying on the floor, and you just see the lights just blink out, and he's lying on the floor. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, you just hear, and the orc just slams his fist back down on the floor with the sword still in his hand, and then gets back up onto his feet.
Oh, so he falls. He falls and then gets back up.
Yep.
Oh,
And then gets back up again. And is there anything you'd like to do when you're? Anything else you'd like to do?
No, but given that he's back up, with the guiding bolt secondary effect is the next attack against him has advantage.
So next up is Botty.
So he's got a bolt like flashes from my holy symbol and staggers him. He falls down and he's sort of wreathed in this in a glowing radiant light, which makes him that much easier for the next person to target.
I believe Body had her bow out, so she steps into the room.
Yeah, you see Luke, and you follow in behind Luke, and he's glowing. So roll an attack, but with advantage.
All right, so that's twice then, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes. 8.
But you're terribly proficient with that thing, all right?
Proficient?
Aren't you proficient with a bow? And you're dexterous as hell, so you should have some pluses.
Extra 3,
And +2 proficiency.
2 proficiency. Yeah, so 5 on top of 8. Yeah.
So, yeah, that hits.
Nice.
Well, hit. Can I duck behind the column?
Yeah, and you hits, and with this blow, you see him go back down again, and this time he doesn't move, he doesn't get back up again, he doesn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Then I don't get behind the column.
So that's it. Everybody's you're out of combat now, both of them, and then you have a look around the room, and there doesn't seem to be anybody else inside the room.
Is there an exit from this room, or is it a?
Yeah, if you head towards the back, you have a look around. There's another room off to the. There's a doorway to the right that leads further down into the keep. Hamming, you would know this. You would know that it goes down much deeper. You would actually, Botty, roll a history check. So add your intelligence modifier. So I believe it's a
2.
Two.
Do you proficiency as well, or just
no.
intelligence? So I did a natural 18 plus 2 is 20.
Yeah. So you know that this goes down probably about 2 or 3 rooms through from the tales, the stories that you've heard. Sort of like there was excuse me. A torture chamber in here, and seeing as their escape was blocked off, that the Dragonborn, as he was traveling through Helgen, managed to escape through a cave that came out through the bottom end. So you pretty much want to head down there and sort of like see the entire run.
Travelers, let me tell you of this cave that we must seek out, that we must explore, because our dear Dragonborn has set foot there before us.
Mouse looks over at Hemming and rolls his eyes. Kind of walks off into the shadowy corner of one of them.
So are we in the torture room, or is the torture room the next room?
It's further downstairs. So you'd have to go out of this room and then head downstairs.
Okay.
So
right.
Hamming,
I know which room we're in. Then thanks.
Hamming, you hear Botty start turning around and sound like saying more accolades towards the Dragonborn. And sort of like the reason why she's here is to say she's like on a tourist expedition, sort of like having a look around at all the best things for the Dragonborn.
She's selling T-shirts. Dragonborn Tour 10 AD. So if nobody beats me to the punch, I'm gonna search these mooks for the usual pocket change and skooma.
Yeah, Mouse wants to search the barrels and crates around the room.
Food on their plates or anything like that worth taking?
Yeah, so let's see. Mouse, roll an investigation check with advantage as you're going through the entire room and sort of like having a look at the beat.
I got 11.
11. So yeah, it's above a 10. So,
or is it? Do I add proficiency to an investigation check? I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes. You add your your intelligence and proficiency.
Yeah. No, I apologize. Yeah, 4. Yeah. So it's a 12. Sorry. Yeah. I knew that. I was just brain farting. Sorry.
So so you find was it 5 silver on them each?
Okay.
And you also find between the two of them 3 bottles of skooma. In some of the barrels, all there is cabbages, a couple of carrots, like general food and stuff. Sort of like there's nothing real expensive or anything worth having. You generally thinking that bandits wouldn't leave expensive stuff or sort of like anything worth having lying around. They just keep it on themselves of what they have.
Well, Mouse grabs a carrot, and while he's munching on it, he walks over to Luke and hands him the silver and the skooma.
Okay. Assuming the skooma bottles continue to be the same vintage as the other ones. Actually, at this point, if they're the same, I've got several others. I'm just gonna grind them all under my heel. Just, again, assuming nobody. I don't ask permission, but if nobody stops me, that's what I do.
Okay.
All right.
So, Hammy, you're as you're sitting there, you're starting to get a little bit of a weird feel from all these eyes. You got one that seems to be glorifying the Dragonborn.
Yes.
And you also have an Imperial that seems to be decided to agree with have your sort of friends' opinions. And there's a cat. And you're sort of like they keep on listening to the bard, the way she's talking of sort of like how she's so excited. This is not what you've come here for. You haven't come here for a tourist, and it's really starting to get on your nerves. It's pushing you to the fact that you don't really think that you can stay in this room that much longer.
Haming has found it's time to move on. He has no animosity as a traveler. I have no animosity towards your band, your crew here, but I have a mission of my own that I need to entail, and if we cross paths again, you can elicit my help once again.
Hemming turns and heads back up the stairs where he came from.
Mouse calls, farewell, friend, softly.
Farewell.
And I make a wordless blessing towards Hammy as well, and give him a nod.
Hammy, you come out the same entrance that you came in, and you start slowly walking out towards and heading towards the gate that's leading off in the direction of the rift. And as you look out, you look over to your right, and as the moon is shining down over the forests, it's lighting up all the snow and the hills. And there, on the side of the hill, you see a magnificent white stag looking directly at you. And he's looking at you. He isn't looking at a general direction. He's looking directly at you. And his eyes seem to sparkle. And he sort of like turns and then vanishes into the forest.
Haming decides to move and follow, stalking his future prey.
Okay, so you head off up into the forest, heading in the general direction of the rift. Thank you very much for joining us, Michael. That was amazing, and
It's great.
Hamming was so awesome. Yes, some fantastic reactions and some great interactions with the rest of the group. Thank you so much.
I'm glad he's still alive and wandering the wilderness.
Very nice.
Yeah. Excellent.
Have a good night, Michael.
Yep. Take care, guys.
Afraid Michael has
See you,
to
Michael.
But we're going to be carrying on with
Going to Target.
Stalking big prey now.
Yeah, he's got his target.
Stalking out of the Target. See you later.
Perfect. Okay, so back in the room, we have you guys. And you are heading down, and you finished up the room and sort of like have a look, and as your new friend or your new at least ally, it seems, has left, it's sort of like it's kind of a little bit bitter for you, Mouse. It's sort of like you probably found somebody of damn, the word escapes me. Anyway, you head downstairs.
Yeah, well, Mouse felt some sort of affinity there and wasn't able to
Kinship.
pursue it. Yeah.
So you head down. Can you all roll stealth checks again for me, please?
9.
Whoa, 19. Oh, wait, I didn't disadvantage. Wow, 14 though. No, 15. 15 with the dexterity. 15. Wow. Lucas.
Did you say with advantage?
Disadvantage. You
had disadvantage. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I have disadvantage on the stealth check, but I still got a 15. So. Oh.
He's making you look bad there, Mouse.
Mouse is distracted.
I won't get used to it. It's not going to last.
I rolled a 1 + 3, so 4.
Well, you slowly, what you think is slowly and calmly, and sort of like, everybody else seems to be, Luke, you're really impressed. You're finally getting your sort of like, your groove into your stealth, and then suddenly Mouse and Botty just sort of like shoulder barge you beside you, going, "Oh!" And Botty starts running down the stairs. She goes, "This is the torture room." She runs in with glee, and as it starts looking around, and Botty, as you look around, roll a perception check, please, Botty, as you're looking around the room.
Yeah, once again, Jaquai shakes his head with a 25. Wasted again.
Oh, let's see. I rolled a
a bunch of quieter friends.
Roll a 5.
+2 for wisdom. So 7.
Okay. So you look to your left, you see 3, metal cages. It's pretty dark, you can't see anything in. To the right, you see what seems to be a metal cordoned off room. So like all the bottom part seems to be like wood, and then the top part is like a sort of like metal bars all the way around it to the right. And that's pretty much all you see. The rest of you follow in to the room, and you have a look around. There don't seem to be anybody in the room. Was it? Oh no, Luke and Jaquai, you get a really horrible smell coming from one of the cages. And Luke, as you venture towards and sort of like the light from the brazier trickling back and forth, you see what seems to be an unconscious man inside the in the middle cage. You have a look inside, and he seems to be in very similar armor to the people who were upstairs. He has his sword on him, and he has a shield on him. And you, as he's relaying this to you, Mouse, you walk over and you see that there's a load of lockpicks and lockpick tools on the inside, and 90% of them are all broken. Most of the lockpicks are all broken. But the guy's lying there, and he stinks of ale, and his armor is kind of open at the top. And as you're looking at the top, Luke, you see these black vein-like marks coming up, spreading up from his chest, going up the side of his neck.
Mm.
I'd like to do a medicine check to see if I can identify the black marks.
He's inside the cage at the moment.
Just if I can do it from to the extent I can just do it visually from outside the cage. Is do I recognize these?
Roll a medicine check with disadvantage, seeing as you're not getting hands on.
All right.
Again.
Right. 9 with disadvantage.
Right. You have seen it recently. You kind of it's the same as what you saw Lemkins with in back in Falkreath. What would you like to do?
Where are these? Are the lockpicks reachable? The ones that are still intact?
Yeah, because it's a cage. It's sort of like like sets of squares. So you've got vertical and horizontal bars, but they're large enough for you to get your hand through, and you can go to the lockpicks.
Certainly, Mouse would like to grab the intact picks if he can.
Sure.
How many are there?
It's like 4 or 5. The rest are all smashed and broken. All this stuff like.
Is there anything else that Mouse can see there? That he can reach?
You can see sort of like his weapon is still sheathed, and you can get a real strong smell of urine and ale coming from the side. And then you see it on his right side, which is the further side from you, that you might not be able to reach. You might have to do some sort of like acrobatics trying to sort of like stretch to get it. Is a pouch on the side of his belt.
Yeah, well, don't really want to touch him if possible, depending on whether that whatever is afflicting him is contagious. Although Mouse suspects it isn't with previous experience. Is this person clearly deeply unconscious?
Yeah, he's like really seriously sleeping it off. It's heavy breathing, and his breathing is steady. But he doesn't seem to be in any threat. His breathing is not labored. He's just, it seems like passed out drunk.
I'm going to look over at Luke and say, what do you think? Should I pick the lock and get in there?
As much as it pains me, more experienced healers than I were not able to help a similarly afflicted man in Falkreath. Perhaps leaving him here where he can harm no one else is the best option.
Understood. I'll leave him alone then. I'll leave that pouch where it is.
And Luke is clearly very troubled by this, but he reaches in and sprinkles a little holy water on the guy and says a prayer, but doesn't. It's beyond his capacity to help him, so he does nothing more than a short prayer, no spell or anything, just a short prayer of blessing.
Okay, so. You finish up, you have a quick look around the room. There doesn't seem to be much else. Is there anything else anybody would like to do?
Not at the moment. I mean, not in this room anyway.
Proceed.
Okay. So you head out through the back end, heading down. You look past, and there's all these cells to the right and the left, and having a quick look in all of them, pretty much all empty. There's like a skull in one or two of them, and some there's like moss growing off the side of the walls. And you head further down into the bowels of the keep, and you don't see anything along the way. You finally come to a room that's got some war cages, but seem to be hanging from the ceiling, with a couple of skeletons with legs dangling out and a few skeletons on the throne, and what appears to be a hole smashed in the back wall leading in to a cave. It seems to be like the stone worked area has finished, and it seems like this is knocked through to the back and is now leading down into a cave area.
Ooh. Can we smell anything coming from down there?
No, you can't really smell anything.
Okay.
It's just like normal mossy, earthy smells.
Okay.
Pardon me, I had cheese for dinner.
So,
that wouldn't be Dova cheese, would it?
roll. Can I have everybody roll a stealth check, please?
And it's on the floor. Let's see. Right, everyone.
All right. This is like the stealth. This is like the day of stealth for Luke. This is an 18 with disadvantage.
Oh, it is 11 here.
11? Okay.
Do you have proficiency?
No, just dexterity.
Jeez, only 8.
Shoot.
Luke even out stealthed Jaquire. He's only got a 16.
Oof. So you
Luke is
venture
good.
down into this cave, and you're slowly turning around, and then you see some light coming from a room, and it seems to start to lead it back into stonework masonry again. You see some light go up. Could I have Jaquai and Luke make a perception check?
Ooh, woof. Something terrible. Let me see what it is. With
It's probably better than my 6.
No, it's not. No, that's the terrible thing. It is a 4. I see nothing.
Well, you don't hear anything either. So you see the stonework room, and you see some, some brazier to the right, and you see some light coming from the room. Let's have a look here. What would you like to do?
Who's ahead of who now at this point? I've lost track of our order of.
I think we're in stand. I think we have a pretty standard order. I'm
okay.
While I'm being better at stealth, I'm still heading, taking the rear position.
Okay, so Jaquai and I are ahead. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we see a room with a brazier and what?
Yeah. So as you're coming along the cave, so you got cave wall, and it's kind of like a narrow cave. So you probably get a 3 people wide opening. And as you're heading down, you see a brazier that's off to the right, giving off some reasonable light, and it's leading into a much larger room. And you start to hear, even with those perception rolls, you start to hear like running water.
Okay.
Oh, I'll keep pressing on.
Yeah. Well, I'm right behind you.
Come along.
So you get to the edge of the room, and you have a look at the room, and with all its braziers, you have be able to see some light, and you got plenty of light, so you can see well into the room. And so everybody go to roll 20, please.
Ooh. Nice.
I couldn't get the Helga map to work because inside, when you go further up into the ceiling, everything disappears. So I had to build this one myself.
Very cool.
Thank you. So you got a brazier to the right, and it's giving off that first circle there is bright light, and then the second circle there is dim light, and you have some. You have the stone flooring here, and then some steps that lead down here into silver, and then you see some water coming out of this, rushing down here into this area and going through a metal grate here. And you see, sitting in the very bright light, you see a man sitting there at a table. And you see another man sitting there at this table. And you're all here. As you enter the room, was it Botti? You got as Botti enters the room, as she immediately enters, she goes, "Wow, that's so cool!" As she enters into the room,
She is wont to do.
yeah, and immediately this man here stands up, and he looks over and sees that you're not who he was expecting to see. And he goes, "What the fuck is this then? Who's these pieces of shit coming to ruin my fucking night?" And then this guy here stands up, and this one looks like a Nord. This man, sort of like Sarah before. Can I have everybody roll initiative, please?
Can we see, Colin, what's this whitish thing that I'm clicking on past just to the edge? Can we see what that is?
You had a 6 perception, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you haven't got a fucking clue what that is.
All right, and these are 5-foot squares.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Initiative.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Ooh, nice.
So, we got 25. 20 to 25. 15 to 20.
I have a 16.
So Luke. And do we have a 10 to 15?
Body 14.
And do we have 5 to 10?
6 here.
I've got an 8.
So we have Jaquai and Mash. And we have even worse. So and then we have him at 18. So this really large man here from what you can see looks over and then immediately goes ah! And then runs 1, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, and then he crouches down onto his knees and doesn't move. Luke, you're up first.
Okay. So let me see. So this well, I guess let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 80, 80, 90, 100. So I'm going to need to move a little bit. Let's see. Why am I going to see? I'm not being able to. So select move. All right, I'm trying to do that. I'm going to pick up Luke and move. It's not. Anyway, it's not letting me move. I'm trying to step forward about 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. What is this this sort of rectangular? Is that a grate? Is that the grate there that I'm clicking on?
No, that's a set of stairs.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Got it. All right. So I'm going to move to. I'm not able to move my guy, and I don't want to take time to figure out the roll. So I'm gonna move to the square that I'm clicking on, and that should put me within 120 of the guy the guy that's not cowering in fear, and I will try to hurl my trusty guiding bolt at him.
Okay, sorry. Where were you moving to? I was trying.
So I'm going to move to see where I'm clicking there, right? Not going down the stairs, but like sort of adjacent to the stairs. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Oh, that's weird because it's got a blue dot by me there, but then it's got a red label by me. That's okay. I thought it was the wrong. Anyway, so that's this. All right, so I'm there, and that should put me within 120 to try to fling my last guiding bolt at that guy.
Okay, so roll a d20.
Oh, and that should probably hit because that's a 24.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
All right. So let's see. All right, that's 5 plus about 10 points of damage and that advantage effect for the next attack.
Okay.
It's radiant damage on the off chance he's undead, but I doubt it.
Give me 1 second. So, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, that's it for me.
Okay, so up next is Watty.
It's still very far away. I don't believe I have anything I can get there with. What sort of range does my bow have again?
I believe it was 80 without disadvantage. Anything over 80 is 320, but you have to roll at disadvantage. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. Yeah, so he's about 15 to 20 feet out of range.
All right, so
Of your sort of like short range.
yeah, I'll move within range and then take a shot with the bow.
Can you move your character?
I believe I can. I can go 30. I'll move over here by the water.
That's weird. I don't know why Luke can't move his. So you're going there by 30. So let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. Oh, I'm sorry, you're still 5 feet out of range. So you're going to have to roll at disadvantage.
Okay, so roll twice.
Twice and take the lower of the two, yes.
Of, sorry, which? 8? No, bow. No, 20 twice.
Yeah, D20 twice.
Oh, I got 2 and 20, so I have to take the 2. This sucks.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, so it just ends up hitting, straight into the
Oh,
table.
hey, wait, though. Hang on, though, Colin.
Oh,
so,
wait, no,
so what happens? So
advantage.
he has advantage and he has disadvantage at the same time.
Yeah, no, that means it's a straight roll. What did you roll? I didn't see the roll. What did you roll first? The 2 or the 20?
The 2.
Oh, bummer.
You have to take the 2. So it would have been just a straight roll, so you have to take the 2.
Oh, bummer.
So now you see that first light starting to sort of like dim down, and you see him recoil, come back up, and he goes, fucking bastards. So, but he's still just standing there. So, Jaquai, what would you like to do?
So at this point, I'm just going to be able to move. Because I don't have anything with that kind of range.
So you're just going to move there?
Yeah.
Okay, you're just going to stay there. Okay. You can use your action to move. Like you can use your action to dash, so you can move another 40 feet if you're not going to use your action to attack or do anything. So you don't have to spend a key point or anything like that. You can just use up your action instead of attacking. You can do a dash and run another extra 40 feet if you wanted to.
Okay, I'll do that.
So is this other area with the stairs, is it elevated or is it below level or above?
No, this is elevated all up here. There's another set of stairs here. And Jaquai, if you can sort of like, go like this as you're stepping through of which way you're going.
Okay.
Thank you.
And how much lower is that level? Where Jaquai is? How far down is it?
About 5-10 foot. It's not that deep.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then I'd actually probably be able to leap it.
Yeah, so roll an acrobatics check. Because if you're going to go through the water, you're going to move at half speed.
Well, so I'm going to change the direction I go then. But it's still not going to get me all the way out. And are these bushes the
Yeah, they're
greenery?
bushes.
Okay.
Bushes and ivy lying on the floor. This is moss and this is ivy. It's all very low to the floor. There's no actual bush. It's not a standing
Okay, so
bush.
no
It's just-
cover.
No.
Okay. Well, then I'll stick with my original. Let's see. So that's 10. And you say so it's double for the water?
Yes. Or you can roll an acrobatic check to see if you can try and jump it.
Okay, I'll do that. So 13 plus 6, 19.
Oh yeah, definitely with ease. You just vault straight over it. You had a running start, and you just get to the edge of it and just vault right over the other side of it.
So that's 30 and 40.
So, and that ends your turn, I believe.
Yeah.
Next up is Mouse.
Okay, Mouse is going to move here first. He's going to yell at the others, "Leave the kid alone." He's going to draw his bow and take a shot at this big dude here. How do you make the little circles pop up and show up? Just clicking.
Just
places?
click on it.
And everybody else
click
sees it. I don't see it, but everybody else does. Is that the?
Click and hold. I can't see it from you. That's me.
And I'm red.
I saw red. Yeah, I should be green, but I don't see nothing popping up.
Yeah, I'm not. Do you have the arrow?
See a
Do you have
Yeah.
the?
Yeah, I have the arrow selected.
I just saw something.
Oh, okay.
So
So anyway,
then
I'm shooting at the other guy, the guy to the right of the table.
Yep.
With my bow.
So roll a d20, and you've just
Yeah.
got in range there.
All right, so that's 15.
15. Give me a second. Check. Forgotten his armor. No, 15 is his armor class. 15 hits. Roll
Okay,
there.
so d6. And that's 4.
Plus dexterity.
Yeah, that is plus
Four.
6.
Okay. All right. So, minus 4.
And then- Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask you, what else do you want to do?
Yeah, I want to use my dash from my cunning action
Yep.
to move another 30 feet towards this guy. So let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20.
Can you move your character along
Yes.
where you're going?
Well, I can, except that for some reason the window wants to keep scrolling up every time I touch it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to. There's there 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay. And that's it.
do you see over that bush in front of you?
It's
I
it's
don't
not a
know.
bush. It's ivy. So it's like it's
Okay.
about up to the top of your feet. The top of your boots.
Sweet.
That's probably as thick as this. You can't get in cover from. So now it's Rotor. First of all, roll a history check. So Broto sort of pulls out his sword and he looks over at the little kid and he goes, "What the fuck are you hiding for? This is your time, Lanil. This is your fucking test. What have I been having you in here all fucking day for?" And he goes, "Now is time to fucking kill everything. Let's fucking kill everything." And he starts to move forward. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So he's going to move to there. And that's 5, 10, 15, 25. So there, he's going to roll and try to throw a dagger at you. You see him lift up his hand to his right shoulder and he pulls out a dagger. And he's looking at you, Jaquai. And he has to roll at a disadvantage because you're just out of range of his daggers. And that's lucky because the first one was a 17. So he throws a dagger and it flies just right past you, and then he's going to pull out another dagger from a little bit lower. And as you can see, as you're getting a closer look at him now, you see that his armor, although it's just plain sort of like hide and leather armors, that have slits all over them and little pouches that just seems to have these really sharp daggers just tucked in to every little crevice on his armor, and he's just pulling them out. And he pulls out a second one and tries to throw it at you. Well, the first one's a 5 and the second one is a 10. So again, he throws another one at you and it doesn't hit. And that's the extent of what he's going to do. So next is Lenil, and Lenil is going to stay exactly where he is, and he's just going to scream, "Don't hurt me, please, don't hurt me, I don't want to die." And now we're back to Luke's turn.
Okay, I can move 30. All right, so that puts me in that square, and then from that square to that square is 40. Oh, okay.
When
So
if you're moving through the so as I said, can you
yeah,
which way you're going?
yeah. So let me grab my guy now. Now that I figured out what I was doing wrong before. All right, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And if I got it right, that is 40. Yeah, that's 40. So I'm out of my good spell, so I will have to fling the Sacred Flame cantrip. So he gets to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, give me 1 second. And roll a history check, please, Pat.
Okay. Oh, we got 21 on that.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Check out his dex. So his dex is +3. Oh yeah, so he rolled a 16. So he right at it. He skips around that, and as he turns around, he sort of he sees it coming, and he floats down, and you see this big smile looking around with this Imperial man with a scraggly beard and a bald head looking at you with a face that you recognize from from 12 or 13 years ago. It's a face you're never going to forget.
Oh my.
And now that you've gotten this close, it's easy to recognize this person. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us here at Skyrim 10 AD. And I would love to thank all of my players. I'd like to thank Pat and I'm sort of like getting dry mouth here. Give me a second. Pat and Ray, and I keep on wanting to call you all by your character names.
It's okay.
Victor and Andrew, and to Michael as well for jumping in and giving us a great performance.
That was a wonderful surprise too. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah,
very,
you
very
played
nice.
it so well. It's awesome. And thank you very much for listening. And I'll see you. You'll hear me or hear us on the next episode of Skyrim 10 AD. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for downloading this edition of Skyrim 10 AD. Email the show at skyrim10ad@gmail.com. For more information, please visit asapodcasting.com, where you will find a Skyrim Addict podcast, the Fallout feed, and our Amazon link, which benefits the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Find our social media in the show notes. Thanks for listening.
Skyrim 10 AD would like to thank Tabletop Audio for the use of their music in this podcast. If you would like to find more music like this, just go to tabletopaudio.com for more information. Thank you.